Well, good Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Casey Sherman bringing you an update on the heat wave that kicks off in central Texas today. We've been talking about this for the past several days, potentially a historic heat wave now kicking off across the area by this afternoon. So let's take a look outside. We were actually off to a really pleasant start this morning as we take a look closer in. Here we go. A look out across the downtown skyline of Austin, where some of us woke up to the 50s this morning and low 60s. Seasonal start to what is going to be a very hot afternoon. We've got some very dry air that has since moved into the area that has allowed us to kind of cool down quite a bit each and every morning. Yesterday, in fact, we had some 40s across the hill country, but we are saying goodbye to that here as we head into the next several days. Now into the 70s, Austin Airport, Camp Mabry. We've got those winds light, dew points up into the middle 60s, and we are going to be soaring into the triple digits for the first time this season by the afternoon. Still holding on to the 60s for areas like Burnett, Mason at 73 degrees. You're at 72 for San Marcos, middle 70s out across parts of the coastal plains. As we take a zoomed out look, this is what we're going to be tracking as we head into the next several days. An area of high pressure that's going to start to build across portions of Mexico. And as it builds across the Mexican plateau, it will be funneling in that hot desert air across the Lone Star State that we're going to start to feel as we head into today through tomorrow, Thursday, and even into the weekend. I think we will continue with triple-digit high temperatures for many of us. So the heat, it is here to stay for quite some time. You can see the next 2 days across the state of Texas. Many of us feeling the heat from areas like San Antonio down through Corpus Christi to right here in Austin, where we're looking at the hottest temperature of the week, likely peaking by Wednesday. You can see that high 105 degrees. If that happens to verify, that should be breaking the record for our all-time hottest May day, which was 104 degrees last set back in 1925. If tomorrow's 105 verifies, it's going to be breaking that record, and we have several more records down the pipeline here. Daily higher temperature records likely going to be broken or tied beginning today, and I would think continuing possibly as late as into about next Monday. So we've got the stretch of daily high temperature records tied or broken. Again, should be setting a record tomorrow for the all-time hottest May day. We're also going to be today looking at the third earliest first 100-degree day on record as we top off near around 102 degrees today. That should be the third earliest time we've seen that on record for the Austin area. And it looks like we also have a pretty high potential of at least tying or breaking the record for the most 100-degree plus days in the month of May. Right now, that record stands at 3 days. That was set back in 2011. I think we have the potential going 4, possibly 5 days here just for the remainder of the week. You can see our highs for the next 5 days peaking on Wednesday, but we still hold on to those triple digits Thursday, Friday, and even into Saturday, all the while breaking all those records. Now, when does the heat let up? This is going to be a slow, kind of steady burn for us. We really don't have much relief in sight for at least the next 10 days. Notice while I do think we'll get out of the triple digits beginning early next week, we still keep very close to that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday still going to be topping off in those upper 90s. It looks like it's really not until not this weekend, but next weekend that we might start to see things kind of edge more in the right direction and more closer at least to our average highs for this time of year, and with a little bit of a cool down ahead. But right now we're really settling into the heat and the dry conditions. Out the door right now, currently dry air continues to build across the area. Winds today have shifted back to the south, and eventually will be shifting to the southwest. That's what really will be heating things up, especially as we head into tomorrow. Highs across the area today going to be hottest up towards the hill country. That's where you have some of the driest of the air that's the easiest heat up. So that's where you'll be feeling out towards Llano at 107 degrees, 106 for your forecast high in Mason. Areas like Cameron, Giddings, LaGrange, potentially not quite into those triple digits, but hot nevertheless, as you'll be topping off in the upper 90s. Tomorrow is the peak of our heat, 105 for Austin. We could be looking at temperatures approaching the 110-degree mark out towards Llano. So I would expect we could certainly have the possibility of some excessive heat warnings being issued, especially across the hill country by tomorrow, as we could be reaching that criteria. Highs on Thursday, a little less hot than Wednesday, but still very, very warm. Upper 90s, lower 100s. Should be looking at another day of triple-digit heat for many areas across central Texas. So let's talk about that heat risk potential. Today's heat risk moderate to major. The red spots featuring the major heat-related health risks. That means anyone without adequate water, adequate cooling will be feeling and impacted by this. Notice how the area of red spreads by tomorrow. We even start to see some extreme category build across the Rio Grande Valley. So tomorrow is going to be the toughest day of heat to get through as far as that goes. So heat advisories in effect today through tomorrow at 9 p.m. Again, I think there's a possibility that we see some of these heat advisories, at least for the hill country, be upgraded to those excessive heat warnings for tomorrow. As far as the rain goes, we will not be looking at much rain here in the near term. This is kind of a troubling pattern, as May actually does tend to be, on average, our wettest month here in central Texas. And notice as we take you through today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, we just remain bone dry here. Saturday, maybe a stray shower possible back in the mix by the weekend, but the main story really is just going to be that tough heat. Next several days, triple digits through at least Saturday is what we expect. Daily records being broken and or tied. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, taking those breaks in the shade and in the air conditioning when you can. And of course, remember those pets as well. Yes, if you are heading out to walk your dog, make sure you're doing the touch test with the pavement. Remember, if the pavement is too hot for your hand, it's also too hot for your pet's paws. So just stay weather aware today, and also through the remainder of the week, make sure you're taking care of yourself. We will have much more in terms of updates on the heat coming up throughout the remainder of the week. Stay tuned.